Okay, so we're going to take our data and we're going to subset it into a male subset. So we're taking the males into one and the females into one. And so we're going to create two bar graphs, okay, one based on the male data and one based on the female data. So what does this look like, right? This is the same, you guys will see in a second. I'll show you guys. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the male bar graph. And I want you guys to then do the female bar graph. Okay, we're going to do this together. Hold on. There we go. There's our data. So here we go. I'm going to do the male bar graph. So I'm going to start by drawing myself an XY here. And I'm going to, what's going to happen is I'm going to be graphing the bar graphs of the colors based on the male data. Okay, based on the male data. So I'm going to color code here. Oh, first, let me draw some tick marks because that's muy importante for us to know. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't think I need that many, but it doesn't, you know, it's good to have some. Okay, so let's start with orange, right? How many orange males did we have? We had 2 orange males. So I'm literally looking at this guy right here, this row right here. Oopsie. You guys, it's really hard to write with the tablet. I'm just going to throw that out there. Okay, we're looking at male. We're looking at all of this guy. Okay, so we had 2 orange males. Okay, so this is going to be my orange, right? And I have 2 orange males. So I'm going to take my bar up to 2, bring it over, shade that in. Okay, that's my 2 orange male. Next, I have 1 male that was green. 1 male that was green. So this is my green color now. Yeah, I know I'm color coding, but I'm still going to label them. So I'm going to go up to 1 here, bring it over. There we go. I had 3 males that were blue. 3 males that were blue. So we got my blue here. So I'm going to go up to 3. 1, 2, 3. Bring it over. Shade that in. Okay. And lastly, we have gold. I'm going to use my yellow for gold here, and I'm going to do GD for gold. And I had 4 males that were gold. So we have 1, this is up to 3. So we're going to go up 1 more, over, bring it down. Okay, so there is my male bar graph. There's my male bar graph right there. Ishmael. Okay, so there's my male bar graph right there. And we can see visually now how the colors were dispersed. We can visually see which color we had more of in the males, right? We can see a lot of different things there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys 2 minutes, just 2 minutes. And I want you to now, do the female bar graph, okay? I want you guys to do the female bar graph. Now, this should be done in your notes, right? We have our notes icon. So you should be drawing the male bar graph as well as the female bar graph in your notes at this moment, okay? So you're using your data here. I'm going to give you guys 2 minutes to sketch your bar graphs. And then we have some questions that we want to answer from them, okay? So time is starting now. Okay, we're down to about 30 seconds. If you feel you're going to need more time than that, please let me know. Okay, so we had 1 female that was orange, 2 females that were green. We have 8 females that are blue. So 8. So we have 2, 4, 6, 8 right there. Okay, shade that in right there. And we have the same amount of females that were gold. There we go. Okay. So there are male and our female bar graphs here. And they might tell us a few things. We might be able to look at them and notice some things that we may not have necessarily paid attention to or noticed in a two-way frequency table because it's just full of numbers, right? Sometimes visual representations allow us to see things a little bit more clearly. So based on this, we now want to answer a few questions in our IDS journal. So I have I purposely made sure that our graphs are going to show here. So we have our male and we have our female bar graphs here. And we have 4 statements in our IDS journal, 4 statements in our IDS journal that are essentially going to be answered based on our bar graphs here, our male and female bar graphs. So we want to use the bar graphs that we created as a reference and complete the following sentences in your IDS journal. So the distribution of colors for males is blank. What is the distribution of colors for the males? The typical female in this class has blank as her predominant personality color. There is more variability. Okay, remember that variability word, right? Variability means higher quantity and a variation of data, right? Variability means larger quantity of data and a variation of data. Okay, so there is more variability in the distribution of blank as compared with blank. So you're comparing the male group to the female group and seeing which one has more variability there. The predominant personality color for a typical male in this class is blank, okay? So I'm going to give you guys distribution. So great question, Val. What do I mean by distribution? Distribution is how the data is dispersed, how the data is spread out. So you're telling me essentially how the data is, what data is visible there, or how the data is given to us. So how is the data dispersed?
So will we be like, it's dispersed as a bar graph like that?
No. So again, great question. It's not about the visual, but it's about like how much data is in there for each color. So like it's not a one sentence or one word answer there. It would be like the distribution of colors for males is 2 orange and blah green and blah blue and blah gold, right? So you're specifically telling me how the data is distributed for the males, how the data is being, like, what kind of data you have for the males, if that makes sense. Okay, so yeah, you're kind of listing off the colors and the data in the colors. Absolutely. Okay, so about 2 minutes to answer these questions in our IDS journal. Okay, 2 minutes to answer these questions in our IDS journal. When you are done, raise your hand for me, please. When you are done, raise your hand in the participant section. So I'm going to put 2 minutes on the clock and let you guys answer these questions. Don't forget to raise your hand when you are done answering these questions, please, so that I know that you are done. Okay, thank you, David, Dallas, and Sarai. Thank you, Maddie. Okay, okay, so we got some more coming through. Alexis, Alexander, Amani, thank you, Munya and Steph and Dario. Thank you, Val. Okay, thank you, Evelyn, Maya, and Katie. Thank you, Destiny. Looks like we have quite a bit of people still working, so I'm gonna give you guys another minute, okay? I'm gonna give you guys another minute. I have 4 people chosen to contribute to our discussion here. So please be prepared to unmute if I call your name. Okay, the faster that you guys share, the less time we spend on waiting for people to participate, and the faster we can get done with notes for today. Okay. So still thank you to, I can't remember, I think I left off at Destiny, right? So thank you to Natalie, Gabby, and Tyrese. Okay. Okay, thank you, Alex. Thank you, Kenya and Samai. Thank you, Jade. Okay, so we're gonna kick things off. We're gonna kick things off with David. Okay, David Hunt, can you tell me the distribution of colors for males?
Okay, so I didn't fully understand the question at first, and I was gonna ask you, but my Wi-Fi was whack. But so right now I just put gold, but for the whole distribution, there's 4 colors with 4 different amounts of people answering the question.
Okay, so you're kind of on the right track. When we talk about distribution, we're specifically talking about like how the data is distributed. So I know that sounds redundant. You're like, Miss K, distribution, distributed, no duh. But what it's talking about really is, you said that there's 4 colors, right? So it's asking you to just describe exactly the data that's in those 4 colors. So the distribution of colors for males is 2 males in orange, 1 male in green, 3 males in blue, and 4 males in gold.
Okay.
That would literally be you're essentially putting the frequency table for males in words. That's what it comes down to. Okay, thank you, David, for that. And I'm sure that clarified it for a lot of people. Next up, can I have Dallas? Dallas, my dear. The typical female in this class has blank as her predominant personality color.
Since blue and gold had the same amount of, I guess, data, or same amount of responses, I said the typical female in this class has blue or gold as her predominant personality color.
Yes, you did. Well done, hon. Yes, absolutely. And thank you for that explanation as to why you put both. Well done. Because if you hadn't explained it, I would have asked. So,
okay.
Well done. Thank you, Dallas. Can I have Val? Valerie, my dear. There is more variability in the distribution of blank as compared with blank.
I said there's more variability in the distribution of males as compared with females.
And why did you say
I said that because with the males, their numbers are more close, whereas with females, the numbers are there's like a bigger amount of change, if that makes sense.
So there's a bigger skew, right? There's a bit more skew to the data where we have a ton of data here, which versus very little here, right? Whereas the males, we have almost like a nice, there's a nice variation in the distribution. We have we have almost the same amount of people in each one in that sense, right? So it looks like we have a little bit more variability among the males. Yeah, good job, Val. Yes, males as compared with females. And last but not least, Evelyn, Miss Evelyn. There is more, I'm sorry, I read the wrong question. Evelyn, the predominant personality color for a typical male in this class is?
I put gold
Gold. And why did you put gold?
because it's the more than the other colors.
Yes, it is. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes, so the predominant personality color for the typical male in the class is gold. Well done, my dear. So, if your answers differed at any point, I hope you guys make the necessary corrections. Okay, because this is important. It's important to be able to analyze our bar graphs for what we need them to be, right? Or for what they're telling us. We want to be able to see what data or what information our bar graphs are giving us. So that brings us to our next set of bar graphs that we're about to create. So I'm going to erase my bar graphs here. So the next question I have for you, the next set of the next set of bar graphs we're going to do is we're going to be looking at the distributions of gender, but we're going to be actually subsetting. Okay, we're going to be subsetting by color now. Okay, we're going to be subsetting by color. So what does that mean? We are going to be taking our data, right? And we're going to be looking at the orange, the green, the blue, and the gold data separately, and we're going to graph the genders. So we're going to be comparing our distribution of genders by grouping, by subsetting our data based on the color, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to use our two-way frequency table once more, and we're going to sketch two new bar graphs. One of them will be your predominant color. So whatever your predominant color was, that's what you're using. The other is going to be another color of your choice, okay? Each bar graph will show the distribution of each gender. So on the bar graphs, we're going to have a male bar and we're going to have a female bar, okay? So I'm going to go back to our data here. Give me a second. We are the first slide here. Okay, I'm going to go back to our data here, and I want us to go ahead and I'm going to pick one of the colors. Let's see, which one shall I do? I'm just going to do orange. Yeah, I know. I picked the easiest one, but that's because I'm the teacher and everything. There are many of you in orange, so I figure many of you won't be doing orange anyway. So orange, right? We have male and female, so I'm going to make my little tick marks here so I know. So for male, in the orange color, I had 2 males. So my bar is going to go up to 2. I'm going to shade that in, and I'm going to label that male, okay? And then for females, right? So here's my female bar graph, my female bar. I had 1 female in orange, just 1 right here. Okay, so that's what it's going to look like, essentially, okay? So you can use this as your other, or maybe it's your predominant color. So either way, I've done one for you, or maybe I haven't done any for you, and you're going to draw both, okay? So I want you guys to go through and I want you to graph your other color. And I'm going to give you guys 2 minutes to take care of that bar graph yourselves, okay? 2 minutos. And we'll then answer some questions about those bar graphs, okay? And 2 minutes starting now. Uh-oh. So the whole purpose of this is to be able to compare how many males and females are in each color, right? To see, you know, the comparison of male versus female for each of our personality colors. Let's see. All right. So if you're still working on your bar graph, that's totally fine because I'm finishing up drawing them. So you can check your bar graph as to what I'm doing right now. I am trying to get all of our colors bar graphs up here. Okay, I have green up there. I'm working on blue right now. Let's see. This one I'm gonna need to go a little bit high for because I have 8 females. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, okay, I'm good. All right, so let's do red for our male, keeping the colors consistent. So we had 3 males. Okay, and then female. Yeah, we had 8 females. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's gonna be right here. My eyes plays tricks on me, guys. And then we, of course, we had our gold, right? We had our gold, and I'm gonna do that right over here. And I know it looks really bad, but you'll see why I'm doing it this way here in a quick second. Okay. And this is gonna be our gold color. For males. I know it's hard to see right now, but just give me a second. Okay, 2, 4. Okay, that's 4 males right there. And then we had 8 females. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. That's 8 right there. And that's female. Okay. So that's using our data. So now I want to go to the slide of questions that we're going to answer for this data. Okay. And oh, see, my green is a little bit over. So I'm going to move that over real quick. There we go. Perfecto. Okay. So hopefully you guys are able to see that now well. Okay. So here are the 4 colors that we're dealing with, right? Here are our 4 colors, and in each graph, we have a male and a female comparison of our data. Okay, so in this situation, we are looking at our gender, but subsetted by the color. Okay, we're looking at the gender comparison of male versus female, but we've split our data by the color. Okay, so this, honestly, what we're doing right now, this would be the equivalent of if I were in our studio, and I want to say this to you guys just so that you're aware of like what we're actually doing. This would be the equivalent of doing bar graph, right? The code bar graph tilde gender. So we're graphing the gender variable, but we're splitting it by the predominant color, right? And then of course we'll have our data equals whatever we call our data, like personality color, whatever that may be, right? But we are graphing our gender variable, right? Splitting it by our predominant color. So it would be this code. With when we subset it with our gender, we had the flip here in our previous graphs. We had the flip. We were graphing the predominant color, but we were splitting it by gender, right? So we had our two graphs were based on the gender versus these four graphs are based on the predominant colors. Okay. So hopefully this right here will help you a bit with question number 1, which is which variables are being shown in each graph. Okay, and then you have what information about each subset can you gather from each graph? What do you see more of or least of? Okay, and what statement can you make from each of the graphs? What statement can you make from each of these graphs? Okay, so you're looking at the 2 bar graphs that you just drew, right? And you're answering these questions based off of those. So I'm going to give you guys about 3 minutes to answer these questions in your IDS journal. Remember, lesson 1, we're going back and forth in that IDS journal a lot, right? So I'm going to give you 3 minutes to answer these questions, okay? So 3 minutes starting now. And of course, raise your hand when you are done so that I am aware that you are done. Okay, and again, I will be choosing people to participate in the discussion. And if you cannot unmute, then quickly share your response, copy and paste it into the chat, please. Thank you, Alexander, Trinity, and Maya for following up there. Okay, so let's start off with our first question. Which variables are being shown in the graph? Which variables are being shown in the graph? And let's hear from Maddie for that one. Maddie Hun, which variables do you think are being shown?
I said male and female variables are being
shown. Oh, okay, so male and female. So here's a common misunderstanding with that. Did anyone write anything different? Did anyone write anything different than just male and female? But thank you for that, Maddie. And you're not the only one that said male and female. I know that for a fact. Okay.
Would colors be one?
Color, so predominant color. And yes, thank you guys in the chat. You're rocking it. Predominant color and gender. So Maddie Hun, you're not wrong. Male and female are being shown, but male and female are not the variable. Male and female are the categories of the gender variable, right? So think about it when we use RStudio. When we want to see male versus female, we don't put male, female. We put gender, right? So the variable here is gender as well as the predominant color, right? So for the colors, we wouldn't put show me orange, show me green. You would put split by the predominant colors to see the 4 colors, right? So the variable is the umbrella name. It's the overarching category name, right? And these categories, they are the categories for the variable, right? They're what we split the variable into, the options for the variable. So that's a very common misconception, very common. So I'm glad that you said that. Yeah, Tyrese, go for it for the second one. But make sure that you share to everyone, okay, Tyrese? Unless you have a mic now and you can talk. Nah, okay. So the second question that we have is what information about each hold on, I can't see because the thing is over each subset can I gather from each question? And we have Tyrese It says out of these 4 graphs, more are female dominant, with the exception being the orange graph. So we have more females in most of these colors except for the orange graph. Janelle, thank you so much for sharing that one. The information that I can gather from each graph is how many males and females got their personality color. Yes, so that's what our graphs are telling us, right? How many males and females that we have for each of the colors, absolutely, and how they compare. Yeah, so thank you, Janelle, and thank you, Tyrese there for number 2. Okay, so let's see. What do I see more of or least of? What are you seeing more of or least of? Let's hear from Samai. Samai, what are you seeing more of or least of? Oh, looks like Samai's not quite ready yet. Okay, that's okay. Let's see. Sarai, would you be willing to share? Sarai.
You said for what I see more of or least of?
Yes, my dear.
Okay, I said that I saw more responses for gold and less responses for orange.
Oh, look at that. Yes, absolutely. Right. We had the highest number of responses for gold. You're absolutely right. And the least for orange. Actually, orange and green are pretty tied, right?
And then the blue and gold.
And then the blue and gold. Yeah, blue and
Mhm.
gold are pretty there together. Thank
Yeah.
you, Alexander. Well done, guys. Well done. Yes. So let's see. What statements can you make from each of these graphs? What statements can you make from each of these graphs? Let's see. Dario. What statements can you make from each of these graphs? Dario? He's typing. Got it, Dario. Understood. Alexander is killing it with his voluntary participation here. The statement that I can make from each of these graphs is that the female and the male had blue and gold as their predominant colors. For sure. Well done, Alexander. Good observation there. What about William? Hey, William, you there? William. William. Yes, William Hunt. What statements can you make from each of these graphs? What's your answer that you wrote down for the last question here? That's unfortunate, my dear. Very unfortunate. No, Evelyn, I did not say Evelyn. I said William. Okay, let's see. Anyone willing to share? Anyone want to volunteer that I haven't heard from today? Matthew, do you have a response for number 4?
Like orange, like you see less orange are the same, like how blue and gold is like the same thing, like you see less of that.
So you see less orange and you see blue and gold is the same?
Yeah,
Okay.
like they kind of like neck and neck type. Feel me?
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Do you have a statement written, Matthew?
No, I was writing it right now. I forgot to put my hand down. My bad.
Okay. Let's see. Natalie Munoz. Yeah, for sure. Unmute and share, my dear.
Okay, I wrote that the females are more dominant in blue and gold rather than green and orange, and while the males are more like distributed.
I like that. I like that. A variation, right? You're seeing that a lot of females are in blue and gold, are dominating that one, but the males are kind of like they're in all 4 of the colors, really. Thank you for that. Well done. Good, good. I'm seeing a lot of the same stuff with your responses in the chat. Thank you, Maddie. Thank you, Samai, for your responses in the chat there. I appreciate you guys. All right. So let's take a look. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is, I'm actually going to, everyone cool with me getting rid of these graphs here? We all got them, right? I hope so. In 3, 2, 1. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is I want you guys to go back and right here, this is what I want you to focus on here. I want you to reread the description of each of the personality colors. Okay. So what does this mean? This means that you need to have the color descriptions open, right? That I asked you to have open at the beginning of the class. Where can you get the color descriptions? It's linked on our Unit 1, Section 2 page from Thursday. It's linked right there, color descriptions, okay? So I want you guys to take a minute or so and I want you to read through the descriptions for all of the colors, okay? I'm only gonna give you guys a few minutes, so make it a quick read. And please do not, say, oh, let me go do something and then come back and read it. No, we're moving along. We have 18 minutes left of class and I wanna make sure we finish this lesson today, okay? So please take a moment and skim through the descriptions of your, all the colors here. If anyone needs, I can, I can put the link for this in the chat to make it quick access for you guys. Let me just grab that link. Okay. So really quickly, just take a quick read through the descriptions of the personality colors there. Because then you're going to go to your IDS journal and you're going to write a paragraph explaining what the typical person in the class is like. So I'm going to be quiet for a minute and let you guys skim that, okay? Let you skim that. Okay, about 20 seconds left. Yes, Janelle, great question. Sarai, based on their predominant color. That's why we say, remember to use the data, right? So if you bring it back here or go to your journal, right, as you're listening, you're going to write a paragraph explaining what the typical person in the class is like. Okay, what we mean is not your thoughts on the typical person, not your thoughts on like, oh, this is a typical student in our class based on like their grades and blah, blah, blah. No, we're talking about based on their personality color, right? So what you want to do is you want to pay attention to what are the predominant colors? What's the predominant color in our class? Not by male, not by female, not by anything like that, but what color do we have more of in our class, right? Not by gender, but just in general. What color do we have more of in our class? That would describe our typical student. Because remember, the word typical doesn't necessarily apply to everyone in the class. It applies to the majority, right? This is very similar to like stereotyping, unfortunately, right? where, you know, it could just be a majority of a group of people do this thing. And so that's the typical person of that group, right? So you're going to use the description, pay attention to our table and determine what's the typical person, right? Based on their predominant color, our class's predominant color. And you're gonna write me a paragraph. So remember, paragraph means 3 to 5 sentences, explaining what the typical person is like. So you should be using the description that you're reading of our predominant class, our class's predominant color, okay? I'm gonna give you guys 3 minutes, 3 minutes to write this paragraph, and then I'll call on a few of you to share your responses with me. If you haven't spoken today, or if I have not called on you today, there's more of a likelihood that you will be asked to participate. So 3 minutes on the clock, and then I start calling on people. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So let's see. Can I get ooh, okay. Gabby, can you please unmute and share? What do you think the typical person in the class is like? Gabby going once? Gabby going twice? All right, that is loss of participation points. All right, you guys, I know you guys have been doing a wonderful job. I just want to throw this out there, right? I may not put in participation points on a daily basis or even a weekly basis or even a monthly basis, but I do keep track. And at the end of like whenever I can put them in, I put them in, and they either really boost your grade or they really hurt your grade. So you got to make sure you're participating throughout, right? And like I said, the majority of you guys have been doing a wonderful job. Munya, why don't you share with us, Munya? I know Munya's there. I was just talking to her.
Okay, sorry, I was gonna type it out, but anyway. So I put the typical person in class should be prepared. If not prepared, then would be seen as being distracted, as well as participating within the class.
Okay, and you base this off of which color?
Oh, good question, good question. I didn't base it off of color.
So you just went for like your general opinion?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a little bit different than what was asked, but I okay. Thank you, Munya. Dario, let's hear from you, hon.
I said that a typical person in the class is a gold or blue personality. They're responsible, unique, cooperative, and goal-oriented. A lot of the people in our classroom do like to spend time with each other and like to be involved in causes. They also value rules and organization as well.
Right on. Thank you so much, Dario. Well done with the blue and the gold. Destiny.
Well, basically, I based my data is based on blue and gold as well. So, like Dario said, we're very goal oriented, responsible, dedicated, and yeah, that's just it's more simpler.
Okay, right on. Thank you, Destiny. Appreciate it. And let's hear from one more because each of you guys kind of give a different perspective here. Katie, go for it.
I said the same thing as Dario and Destiny. I said the majority of personality types and people in the class are either blue or gold, and they're responsible, useful, unique, and extroverted.
Nice. Okay, extroverted. I like it. Yeah, I would say a lot of you guys are extroverted. Absolutely. Thank you, Katie. Well done. All right, so we have another IDS entry. Our last one of the lesson, I promise. So this one is kind of, you know, on you guys. It says, think about a person you believe you know really well. Think about a person you believe you know really well. Try to not make it someone that also has IDS, okay? Because I want this to be like I want you to really think about it, like, because if they have IDS, then that means they took the personality color test. So I want you to think about which color do you predict is that person's predominant color. And then you're going to kind of do follow-up questions because obviously this person might not be next to you at the moment or near you, but you're going to do follow-up questions for this person. Ask that you're going to ask that person to describe himself or herself to you. And then you're going to tell me, does that color prediction match how the person described himself or herself? If you think that it can be an IDS student. Let me clarify that. Yes, Sarai, it can be an IDS student, but make sure it's not someone that you already know the color for, right? So let me put it that way. If you already know their color, don't use them. If you don't know their color, then they're fair game, okay? So I'm gonna give you guys a minute, because it's a very simple question. Which color do you predict is that person's predominant color? So make sure you mention who the person is and what color you think is their predominant color, right? And we just took a minute to we took some time to read the description, so you should have some idea there. So I'll give you guys a minute to write that out. David, I'm asking you guys to answer this question here, right? Think of a person you know really well. Which color do you predict is that person's predominant color? If they're a student in the class that you already know their color for, don't use them. All right. So, can I get a few of you to kind of share who your thoughts are? Vicky, my dear, can you tell me who you chose and what color you think they are? Guys, remember, if you're typing, give me some indication like, I'm here, I'm typing, or else I assume you're not there. So, Vicky Hun going once. Okay. Okay, thank you, Vicky. You don't know Natalie's color, Vicky? All right. That's interesting. So make sure you talk to Natalie and see if your opinion matches. Okay, thank you. Trinity. Trinity, you there?
Yes.
Who did you choose? And please don't say Kennedy. Did you vote?
I chose Val.
Okay.
Yeah, she said that she described herself as like understanding, open-minded, and respectful.
What color did you think Val is?
Oh, I think Val is a blue.
You think Val's a blue? Okay. Val, are you a blue? Why don't we do this right now?
Am I a blue? Yeah.
Ah, there you go. Trinity picked right. All right. Thank you, Trinity. This is a little fun. Let's do. Actually, I wish we could. Well, we could do one more. No, the person does not have to be in this class. It could literally be a parent. It could be a sibling. It could be an aunt and uncle. Like it could be anyone. Someone you think you know really well. I don't have to know them. Alex Revelis. Alex, are you there? Alex. Alex. Oh. That's totally fine, Janelle. Alex Reveles, going uno. Oh, twice, Alex? Going, Alex, one more time, Alex? Okay. Okay, let's see. Anyone want to share?
Me.
Go for it, Alexander.
I chose Munya, and I chose that her color would be blue.
Ooh, Munya, have you taken the personality test? Do you know your color?
No.
Ooh, girl, we gotta get you to take that personality test ASAP. Okay. Thank you. And I'll be interested to know if your color is blue or not, Munya.
Yes.
The link is on the page, Munya. Okay, the link is on the page.
Okay.
And then make sure you put it in the campaign because that's worth 50 points. If you need help with that, let me know. Okay. Alex, why you not respond to me, man? You respond in the chat late. Where you at, dude? Where you at? All right. So that brings us to the end of our lesson, my dears. What I want you guys to do to close out our lesson is I want you to give a brief statement about what you think the 3 most important topics of the lesson were. So I changed day to lesson because this lesson took 2 days. So think back, I know it's hard, think back to Thursday, think back to today, what we talked about, okay? I want you to give me a brief statement about what you think the 3 most important topics of the day were. I want you to write it publicly in the chat, okay, with complete sentences, okay, in the chat, please. And when you are done, when you've written and I've acknowledged that I've seen it, you are dismissed, okay? You are dismissed after I acknowledge that I've seen what you've written. Well done, David. Thank you, hon. Well done, Katie. Thank you. Well done, Alexander. Thank you. Well done, Maddie. Thank you. Well done, Destiny. Thank you. Well done, Alexis. Thank you. Well done, Dario. Thank you. Well done, Ishmael. Thank you. Well done, Natalie Nieves. Thank you. Thank you, Vicky. In the future, please make sure you're writing complete sentences. Thank you, Natalie Munoz. Well done. Thank you, Sarai. Well done. Thank you, Valerie. Well done. Thank you, Amani. Well done. Thank you, Tyrese. Well done. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you, Gabby. Thank you, Evelyn. Thank you, Trinity. Thank you, Alex. You guys are doing a great job. Thank you, Jade. Thank you, Maya. Thank you, Janelle. Can I just say, Janelle, you're really knocking it out of the park. I'm really proud of you, hon. Keep it up. Well done, Samai. Thank you, sir. Well done, Munya. Thank you, sweetie. If you have questions, Munya, I would really like you to come to tutoring on Thursday so we can help catch you up. Okay, sweetie? Please. Please, please, please. All right. Bye, Janelle. Okay, we're waiting on Dario, hon. Oh, you're waiting to talk. Never mind. Haha, I knew that. All right, well done, Chris. Thank you, sir. Dallas, you there? George, you there?